It's just the beginning of what the Lord is about to do. Because you've been evil to the Lord still. You've been wicked to the Most High still, man. You've been destructive to the 12 tribes of Israel. Let me tell you something, black man. You better put on your strength now, man. Put back on your strength and might, black man, because your day is coming. Your day is coming because the Lord is going to bring judgment on this earth. Yeah, hey, yo, I just wanna pop. So my niggas better talk, cause we about to go and get it out. Nigga, I just wanna pop. Look at them 20s, how they crawl. I've been praying that my enemies fall. Nigga, I just wanna pop. Hey, I hope you out too. And if you right, gotta keep it true. Nigga, I just wanna pop. Hey, give me what I'm doing. Can my enemies see a little proof? No, I just wanna pop. Hey, the feel all city, homie. Enough room to put my niggas on it. Just start a couple business on me. Fuck in, he done never shit on me. Hey. Public housing really lived up. Trying to put that in my rear view. Gold rolls while I still do. I can see the picture when it clear real. Gotta separate the snakes. And all you fuck niggas that's gon' hate. Tell you pray to God I don't catch another case. But that's a small risk that I feel I gotta take. Only certain niggas they gon' feel this. Still deliver verses on that real shit. If I get a couple million, I'ma bust this shit down with these children. I just wanna pop. So my niggas that talk, cause we about to go and get it out. Nigga, I just wanna pop. Look at them 20s, how they crawl. I've been praying that my enemies fall. Nigga, I just wanna pop. Hey, I hope you out too. And if you right, I gotta keep it true. Nigga, I just wanna pop. Hey, give me what I'm doing. Can I enemies see a little proof? No, I just wanna pop. Hey, get up out of pounds on me. Got killers with them rounds on them. Look like a dead in the drama. Don't make me make the people bang down on them. I can give a fuck if you ride blue. And I was so cool from the fruit to the moon. Cops still shoot us every time we move. They hate you, nigga, like they hate me too. Just know that part of the hood is a weapon. Build another floor, be protected. So many sisters in the city been molested. Now I'm stacking soldiers off the block like it's Texas. Know that you can get your chills on it. Stay ringing in your ears, want it. If I'm blessed to make a meal, I'ma bust that shit down with my real homies. I just wanna pop. So my niggas said drop, cause we about to go and get it out. Nigga, I just wanna pop. Look at them 20s, how they crawl. I've been praying that my enemies fall. Nigga, I just wanna pop. Hey, I hope you out too. And if you right, I gotta keep it true. Nigga, I just wanna pop. Hey, give me what I'm doing. Can my enemies see a little proof? No, I just wanna pop. Hey. Yeah. Solid children. You go to press for that on drugs. Yeah. I just wanna pop. Hope you do too. And I hope you do too. Yeah. Back to the brother that had a real. And she left for whatever reason. Yeah. I just wanna pop. Hope you do too. To the sister, you know, said they had that nigga leave. Yeah. Nigga, I just wanna pop. So my niggas is locked up. I hope you do too. And I hope you niggas see the light of day. Yeah, I just wanna pop.
Lord said, flesh is good for the soul. So right now, all I ever wanted was to be the next. Little did I know I wasn't danger. Decisions that I made from the Lord anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be the next. Little did I know I wasn't danger. Decisions that I made from the Lord anger. Prayed through a moment time, I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a name. Shot call. To be known with them niggas saying shots off. Either that or the right hand to the top dog. Funny how is he better than at the lies lost? Can be focused on a life that's hopeless. Out there pumping, not going to know the kid for that hocus pocus. Used to roll with niggas, they cooked up with weaponry. Same was saying they love you. I had no life in jeopardy. And I know my mother wants success for me. But that vision take a real bring the ecstasy. Remember, when it was real. Even though we did the wrong thing, my life was been a lot different than my love from the rock street. Was so sincere for when it came. Save the Lord's name. Now we are flipping with pain on that apple water. Was to be respected by stand up niggas. Knowing that the handcuffs custom made. All I ever wanted was to be the next. Little did I know I wasn't next.
What's going on, y'all? Let's clap it up one time. Shalom, Israel. It's the I.S.U.P.K. from the Commanding General YAHANNA. We're coming live from Nashville, Tennessee. This is Officer the SHALAM, and we're about to get this class started. Man, I feel like I ain't been up there in another minute. Man, it looks real nice in the school, man. Brothers been really putting in work. Things look real good. We thank the Most High for that. Anybody have any questions before I get started? If you got any questions, just put them in the chat. I have somebody looking for it. If I don't get to you, don't get up to it. I will get to it as soon as I can. Anybody got any questions in the room? Okay, if not, just let me know if you see something in the chat. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. As you see in the topic tonight, heirs property. It's another way that a young man turn it off. Come on, make sure you stay focused. It's another way that white supremacy uses. They have used since after the Civil War. That we'll see that they've used to keep Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, natives, homes divided, conquered. Another way they've robbed and stole from us. A lot of these ways we don't even know of. They've done so many things, but this is another way that they've used it in order to destroy Black, Hispanic, and Native homes. And what I want to address today is what is heirs property? How does it plays a role in gentrification? We see it happening to us every day. If it hasn't happened to you, it's probably happened to a loved one, and it's happening all the time. After I think after 1910, if I got my dates right, I think it's after 1910, Blacks own 16 million acres of land. And if you look at how many acres of land we own now, it's damn near 95% less. Okay. I stumbled across a documentary that talks about heirs property. And we're going to look at a couple of clips. I'm not going to look at the whole thing, just specific snippets of the clips of the documentary that explain what the heirs property is and how it's being used today, and how it's another thing we need to be aware of on how things are being taken away from us as a community. Because one thing that we had at that time after the Civil War was land. We had land. And having that land was a means of the animals that you could use, the crops that you could grow, the houses that you could build. It played a major role. Okay, and we're gonna even look in the scriptures about scriptures on gentrification. If you don't know what gentrification is, that's what you see happening in America at a rapid pace when a wealthy community come into a poor community or a less fortunate community. It will buy up
the houses and the land and the businesses, buy those things up, tear them down, build them up to where you can't even afford it. I'm talking about from your gas stations to your grocery stores to the homes that you live in, that even the places that you rent, that is so high that it forces impoverished people to leave. It forces blacks, Hispanics, and natives to leave. We have no choice but to leave out of those areas because we can't afford to stay there. You're seeing this happen all across America. It happens all across the earth, and it's only affected one nation of people as a whole. So this is gentrification is another tool, and we're looking at another branch of that gentrification when I'm talking about heirs property. Okay, so that's what we're gonna be talking about. I ain't gonna hold you too long. Some good information, all right, that you need to hold. Make sure you put these precepts in your in your precept book under gentrification. And then we're gonna hop right into it. Okay. First one I want you to look at. Let me make sure I got my mic game right. Give me a second, y'all. Got things looking so well. I don't want to mess it up. All right, there we go. I think you can probably hear me a little better now. YouTube. All right. So let's look at Proverbs 22 and 28. We're gonna look at scriptures first, of course, like we always do, to back up what we're saying, because that's what we always have to do. That's what we are taught in the I.S.U.P.K. that the scriptures teach line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little, right? We're not gonna be acting like T.D. Jakes and Creflo Dollar. Speaking of which, Creflo Dollar, I'm not gonna go into it. If that story is true, what I'm hearing about, and I'm gonna check it, it's just another reason why you should be fleeing that Christian church. That Christian church is the house of Satan. I'll say it again. The Christian church is the house of Satan. The reason why I say that is when you got a preacher committing homosexual acts allegedly, there is no law. There's literally no law in the Christian church but one. There's only one law that they abide by. Anybody know what that is?
Paying tithes.
Say what?
Paying tithes.
Paying tithes. Get me in. That's exactly what it is. That's the only law that they will hold you accountable for. They will attack you as if you committed a murder if you don't pay the tithes. But those tithes is only a get out of free card in the Christian church for you to commit as much sin as you want. And Creflo Dollar in this latest act is proof. All right, but I ain't gonna get into that. Stay on top. All right, Proverbs 22, verse 28, and I'll read: "Remove not the ancient landmark which thy fathers have set." The ancient landmark is the same as it was in the scriptures as it is now. Your granddaddy's granddaddy land or things that he leaves you, you should not give away. You know the reason why most NBA players, NFL players, when they marry these women on these different nationalities, that's not not their own people. You know what happens to them if they die? What happens to their inheritance? Let's say if I don't know, you get any of them and it's like a Caucasian woman. What happens to this NBA player or this NFL player if he dies or he gets real sick? What happens to his riches and his land and everything that he's acquired?
So like you, sir, it goes to the heathen nation's family.
It goes to the heathen nation's family. So then what if that woman marries somebody of her own nation? What happened to the NFL players, little whatever, he might have businesses and everything. What happened to his conglomerate? What happened to his inheritance? What did it turn into?
It turned into their inheritance.
So
the heathen that she married, that's in her own nation, it turns into their inheritance. So that NFL player, that basketball player's inheritance no longer goes to the children of Israel, it goes to other heathen nation.
Exactly. It goes to the other heathen nation. So now we're looking at one of the main reasons why that one precept talks about sons do not go into their daughters, daughters do not go into their sons. Because one, you're gonna leave the Lord, you're gonna leave the law, you're gonna leave the truth. You're gonna why? Because you're gonna adopt the God that your heathen woman or man that you're with, you're gonna accept what they believe in. Two, your inheritance will go to that race. Because even though you might be a black man, Hispanic man, Native man, that what you have acquired in that lifetime will go to your children. But 9 times out of 10, that woman's gonna find somebody from a different race to be with. Now your inheritance is his, not the child's. It's very dangerous. That's why we should never give up our land. Okay, if you can hold on to that land, hold on to that. You know, I know it's hard to deal with. In the long run, it'll be worth it. You know what I'm saying? But the main point is how this kingdom takes it from us. And like when our communities are gentrified, and we're gonna see with this heirs property, they'll buy your home in this day and time right now. They'll buy your home for way less than what you pay for. Some pay you more, pay you a lot more than what you might have spent for it or your parents might have spent for it. They'll give you that, you'll settle for it, you'll take it because we're a poor people. You know, of course, like we try to survive. We don't know no better. They'll take their money, so then they'll take your home. Then they'll demolish their home, turn it into condos, change the whole community, the whole outlook. Then, if you're the type brother or sister that wants to always be around them, you'll move in, and then they'll charge you $2,000, $2,500, $3,000 a month to stay in those condos when it used to belong to you. So not only did they steal something from you, then they make you pay for it. That's how dangerous and ruthless of the people that rule this earth. But what's Job 9:24 say? The wicked rules the earth. Y'all want to turn to that let's turn to that real fast. Real fast. I don't even want to. Job 9:24, I believe. Job should be right before Psalms, I believe. Yeah, right before Psalms. Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So the wicked is the one ruling the earth, and he covers the judges thereof. The main reason why there's something like this heir property and gentrification happens because these court systems allow it to happen. They cover the righteous judgment. They want a wicked judgment, like what is it? Like we'll look at it later, but with Job 36:15 talks about a wicked judgment. All right. So we're looking at right now this earth is being ruled by the wicked, and that is the danger of not being in the truth, because you're under a rulership, a people that do not like you, they hate you. You can see it every day. What's her name? Breonna Taylor. That was a senseless killing. The police that got not arrested but got disciplined for that. They got disciplined because they missed. Because the bullets hit the wall and could have hit somebody else. It wasn't because it killed Breonna Taylor. Go ahead.
So like you, sir, and I was listening to I want to say it was I think Black Watch with Commanding General YAHANNA. And the
awesome show, by the way. You should watch Black Watch anytime you know. You share the heck out the video. So anytime you see Black Watch come up on the Commanding General YAHANNA, man, watch that show. That's the best. That's killing seeing it. You know, we get to see the Monday night. We get to see him on Monday night. I think it comes on around 9 o'clock. I think so. And when he just puts out these videos, man, it's so Man, I be watching those videos all the time. Not only does he give out those headbanger precepts, you get it from the command in general. Also, he hits the topics that don't nobody else want to hit. You know, you want to watch CNN and headline news and all this stuff and YouTube and stuff. Man, Commander YAHANNA is doing an awesome job on the Black Watch show that he has. But go ahead, sis.
So on his show, he was saying that the police that, of course, got charged. The reason why he got charged for those bullets entering into some other person's house is because the other people's house was heathens. It was Esau. And it was entering into Esau's house. So it didn't even matter that it was hitting Breonna Taylor in her house. It was that they missed and was going into an Esau apartment. Not into like an Israel apartment. If it was an Israel apartment, they wouldn't have cared.
Exactly. So that's even man, the water for expounding on that. It's not that he just missed Breonna Taylor. It's that it could have hit his people. We say he the nation. We talking about his people. It could have hit one of them. That's what the concern is. It's not about Breonna Taylor. Then here's the thing about the Breonna Taylor thing that coincides with this Heirs property. It was about them. They had a police squad or a certain squad that was sent to that area to flush those people out, to just accuse them of crimes, just to get them locked up, get a warrant on them to where they gotta leave, so they can get that land, get those places that, like whether it's a Section 8 or a project, whatever it is, get those people out of there. Why? So you can knock them down, so you can build condos, build areas that this kingdom wants to rise up, that white supremacy wants to conquer and take over with. So then you turn them into condos. And if you that old Samuel L. Jackson type dude that wants to kiss the butt, then you gonna go in there and pay 3 G's a month to stay there and feel like you one of them. And that's what that was all about. It wasn't even about no drug deal, about them saying the dude that stayed there had a warrant. None of that. Dude said he was scared. He said he was scared, man. Y'all just came in here. I didn't know who y'all was. And then they didn't even kill him. Because in most Section 8 or low income housing, the woman's name is on the lease. It's for them. Most of the time, the brother's name is supposed to be on there. They trying to get rid of her. That was a target on Breonna. Louisville is one of the most corrupted governments in America. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
I was going to say that they would usually bring up crimes from like years ago.
To accuse you?
Yeah.
God, that's true. They bring up crimes in cases that from years ago just to lock you up. This is exactly right. But let's keep going. We was on Proverbs. Let's go back to Proverbs 22 and 28. Did I finish that?
Okay.
Come, which thy fathers have said. Okay, let's go to Job 5 and 5. Since we're around there. Job should be right before Psalms. Job 5, verse 5. Anything in the chat there to what?
What?
Okay, come. All right. Job 5, verse 5. Whose harvest the hungry eateth up. Let me start on 4. His children are far from safety. This is talking about Israel. And they are crushed in the gate. Neither is there any to deliver them. Like we keep looking for this kingdom to help us. They don't care anything about us. White supremacy wants to destroy blacks, Hispanics, and they've been doing it ever since, wasn't Columbus Day early this week? Or Indigenous Day?
Wakanda was on the 12th.
Now, what did Columbus do for you? He discovered America in 1492? I don't think so. What Columbus did was he took the guidance of King Ferdinand and Isabella of Spain and was finding this so-called new world so he could find slaves and find riches. Just like the scripture in the Apocrypha talks about Asherah. This was the land that nobody knew about. But they went into the Apocrypha, which was the Bible, the King James, 1611 King James, and they knew it was people. They knew we was over here. That's the northern tribe that's over here. They was in South America a long time before anybody. So when they came over here in the South America, they run into the Taino, so-called Indians, and they wreak havoc on them. They killed so many of them, man, that I think it was up to what they said in the likes of 70 to 80 million. Good night. That's just, they said, Columbus said he had so much, he killed so much he felt like his sword was melted to his hand.
Mm.
What he's saying is that for any reason he would just kill. He could be walking in the street, just see a little baby, just slice him. He could eat something and have a foul taste, and whatever slave is buying, he just cut his head off. That is an evil, very evil person. All right, and this is who they in America, they praise this man in every history book that you go to grade school about, in every annually once a year with this Columbus Day thing, they praise him. But that man cared nothing about your people. His whole point was to kill your people. So let's read this. Job 5, verse 4. For his children are far from safe, and they are crushed in the gate. This is Israel. Neither is there any to deliver them. Whose harvest, pay attention right here, verse 5. Whose harvest the hungry eateth up. Remember that. The hungry eateth up, and taketh it even out of the thorns, and the robber swalloweth up their substance. Meaning that Israel have been dealing with oppressors that always want to take everything. How greedy do you have to be? Picture this in your head. How greedy do you have to be on somebody else's land? And let's say it's apples, all the only thing left is apples on the ground. And it's thorns in front of them apples. Instead of just leaving you even the apples on the ground, this is your land. They took everything from you. There's some apples laying on the ground and some thorns. They come up with something to cover their hand up and stick their hands through the thorns just to take the apples on the ground. That's the type of oppression that we're up under. And we're going to find out in a minute when we get to the documentary. That's what it's talking about. And it says, whose harvest the hungry eateth up, and taketh it even out of the thorns, and the robber swalloweth up their substance. White supremacy has taken everything from blacks, Hispanics, and natives. All right? We have to remember that. Let's get Leviticus 19:11. Make sure you write these precepts down under your gentrification. It's got a couple more. We're going to get into the video. Leviticus 19, verse 11. It's a lot. I'm not even checking on y'all. Y'all let me know. Y'all tomorrow when we get there. I'll give you a minute. That's Leviticus 19, verse 11.
Is that
This right here is dealing with how we should deal with each other. Like I always say, when I be talking about Samuel L. Jackson type dude, I'm talking about old boy when he played that role on Django, Samuel L. Jackson. I mean, he was just the coolest nigga alive. He was a super cool. And when I say that, that's what I'm talking about, because a lot of our people want to line themselves up with heathens. You want to line yourself up with the oppressor, and what you're doing is hurting your own people. Because at the end of the day, they don't care nothing about you either. Like a person that lines himself up with the oppressor, he's in more danger than we are. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Hold on, President. That's my son. right, Salaki. Sorry about that. What I leave off at? What I say? What I talking about?
You were talking about the coolness.
Oh yeah, Samuel Jackson. So this scripture right here is talking about a person like that. Okay, because his that's what I was saying. His life is in more risk than the person that's struggling on the street every day or this regular 9-to-5 guy, because you're right up under him. At any time, Esau was turn his back on you and do a Columbus, have a sword melted to his hand. All right. If you don't believe me, look at our brothers. Look at George Floyd. Look at that. Look at Breonna Taylor. That's just the most recent ones. Philando Castile. I mean, Eric Gardner goes on forever. Go ahead.
So like you, sir, like that brother that was going to go fishing or swimming with his friends, and his friends were heathens,
Mhm.
and they were going, and they weren't even, and they tried to say that he was on their land, but he wasn't on their land. He said that he was still about 100 feet from the property line, so he was on public property.
Right.
But those heathens was trying to kill him,
Mm-hmm.
talking about go get the rope,
Mhm.
and he was with other heathens. They let you know, man, you need to stay away from these heathens, because even his friends was just like, no, don't do it. But they weren't really trying to fight them to get them off of him.
Right. And you're exactly right, sis. That's the danger right there. That's proof. Because I don't care what you do, how much money you got, you will never be a part of white supremacy. They'll never accept you. You can be a part of it. You just a coon slave. That's you're nothing compared to a person in the truth. A person in the truth is free, because it's all about their mind. You're free because you know who you are, know what you stand for. Like you said, that's those heathens that so-called saved them. They really just didn't want to see it. They didn't want to. They don't like. They might even have feelings for them. But at the end of the day, that should have been a wake-up call for you that you're not one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So your life is on the line.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we should have put him in check. What you got?
Is that the dude that was pinned up to the tree and they say go get a noose?
Yeah, that's him. That's him. That's exactly him. That's him. I think it's Aubrey or something like that. I could be wrong.
No,
That's the young brother
that was running.
Oh, so
Aubrey was the brother that was running. This was a different brother.
But let's see, where we at here?
We're Leviticus. You haven't read it yet.
Okay, we get Leviticus 19 and 11. Now let's read. Leviticus 19, verse 11. Ye shall not steal. Say that again. Ye shall not steal. Do not steal from your brother or sister. Neither deal falsely. Don't have no kind of slick. In this day and time, we'll say like acting slick or doing something shady, or you shife. You know, don't do nothing to where you're trying to get over on your brother or sister. Neither lie one to another. Now, how does this precept relate to gentrification or heirs property like we was talking about? It relates. Okay, go ahead.
I was gonna say that because I was gonna say that it relates because the heathens are stealing your money.
Well, it relates to that, but you go ahead.
So like when you said how does this relate to gentrification for us? Well, with the ye shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie to one another, is because there are people out there that are working for these different companies that are buying houses, and there are people, they're Israel working. They're Israelites that are working for these heathen companies, and then they're telling these people, we're going to give you this much for it, knowing that the value of the house is far more because of what they're going to sell it for. So that's how they're stealing from them, because they're stealing the value of the home, and then they're lying to them and saying what it is when it's way more than that. So then they're taking their property and helping the heathen nations out when they should be helping their own out.
Exactly. You spending all that time getting over on your own people when you should be helping your own people. You should be helping feeding them, help giving them shelter, help them get into their school, help teaching them who they are. You should know yourself. That's why it's so important for you to know who you are, because if you don't stand for something, then you're gonna fall for anything. And that's the main thing our people always fall for, is trying to be like something that they're not. All right. That's it for that. Let's get Proverbs 23, 10 through 12. And then we're gonna get to this video, man. I'm telling you, this video it's an eye opener. And I ain't gonna lie, it's gonna piss you off. It's a lie. But this video, the documentary that we're gonna look at is gonna get you mad. It's gonna make you sad. But it's supposed to. It's supposed to wake you up. It's supposed to wake our people up so we can understand what's going on in this kingdom, man. In this kingdom, you're not even, man, they'll take a little teacup. What is that, chihuahuas? What are them things? Terry?
A teacup Yorkie?
Yorkies. They'll have more love for a teacup Yorkie than you. And that's facts. Y'all know that. Y'all know how many commercials they put on TV with help this pet. Help this animal. And the animal, she always shaking with big eyes. I don't know what that is.
They don't have no hair.
They don't say help our people.
No, I mean they'll never. That's my point, brother. That's my point. It's like you show these animals in pain and misery and suffering, and you don't see blacks, Hispanics, or natives like they in hurting, suffering, or in pain.
Right.
Y'all treat them like, oh, this is just a regular thing. Get used to it. This is what we do. All right. Let's hit Proverbs 23, 10 and 12. 10 through 12. Select. Everybody there?
Come.
Proverbs 23, verse 10. Remove not the old landmark. Here we go again. That sound familiar?
Sir.
Now, here's the key point here. And enter not into the fields of the fatherless. You're coming to a land, and these people have basically been ran through, have been fathers and families just been demolished, and you're still trying to take away from them. All right. Verse 11, for their Redeemer is mighty. He shall plead their cause with thee. Now, this is your Redeemer, the Most High, that's going to send Christ. Okay? Please believe the heathens know who you are. As long as they get you not knowing who you are, they're going to keep doing this air property and all these other different things. All right? Apply thy heart, this is you. Apply thy heart unto instructions. What is the heart, according to the scripture and context in here?
Start in your mind.
Your mind. So listen to the law of this Bible. Keep reading. And thine ears to the word of knowledge. What does that mean? What does it say? What does that mean? I just told you. You listen. I just literally said it.
Landmark?
No.
About listening to the knowledge and applying it? And like knowing the knowledge, basically?
How do you know it though? Because it said, and thine ears to the words of knowledge.
By the priests speaking the truth and telling the truth.
Give her a hand. That's the priest upon the commanded during YAHANNA. The only one that never dropped that sword. He always kept that truth. So from Christ, it goes to commanded during YAHANNA now. Everybody else broke away from the truth. They started their own thing. They did a John the Baptist. No matter how much they get mad, one thing you got to face is you left. You left. Everything that you're doing now, you got from One West. That's undeniable. So you left. You went and did your own thing. I know you're going to say, well, they did this and they did that, 2000, this and that. But at the end of the day, did you stay? Why didn't you stay? Like, why didn't you stay and make sure things was going right then and run them off that was doing wrong? Why'd you leave? Because you're a coward. That's why. And you don't want to admit it. That's why it's very important to hear the knowledge, know who you are, listen to the priests and prophets of the Lord, And that will keep us together, no matter what they take. Okay? Because their day is coming. I don't know if you're looking around, but things are not getting better. Everybody now is scared that COVID's gonna get worse. And I guarantee you, if it ain't COVID, it's gonna be another plague. We are in the sixth seal. There's seven seals. The sixth seal has just been broken. The plagues. All right. The last seal that's the last one. That's the wrap. That's the nuclear warfare right there. All right. Everybody gonna know it's real then. They still in denial right now. All right. So was that 12? Yes, that was 12. All right, let's get second Esdras. Let's get our apocryphals. Let's get second Esdras 11, 40, and 42.
Second Esdras 11.
11.
40 and 42.
Gonna read from 40 to 42 first. Everybody there?
God's back.
You said
Second Esdras. Esdras. E-S-D-R-A-S. If you have to look in. Oh, you there? That's
yeah,
chapter 11, verse 4. Salam. We're going to read 40 to 42. And then we're going to read 45 and 46 if you highlight. All right, let y'all keep highlighting. Y'all there. I'm going to read. Second Esdras 11, verse 40. And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past. This is the kingdom of America right now, okay? That great Babylon. And had power over the world, with great fearfulness. Everybody's scared of America, except Russia, China, Iran. That's the setup for the seventh seal. Now here's the kicker. Before that, when America was on top, everybody was scared of America. All they gotta do is stomp their foot down, and they gonna make the earth shake. All they gotta say is, look, you want to send these nukes? You see what we did to Iraq? See what we did to Afghanistan? I know you remember what we did to Japan and Hiroshima. There's still people's shadows in the earth from that nuclear bomb, the atomic bomb. Right? That's how they create their fear. And over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression. Say that again. Which with much wicked oppression, not just oppression, wicked oppression, chattel slavery. And so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit. White supremacy is full of deceit and lies. For the earth has, verse 41, for the earth has thou not judged with truth. This kingdom does not judge with righteousness. It uses deceit. Can we just not read it? It uses a what kind of oppression? Just read it.
it's like a wicked.
A wicked oppression. 142. Yeah. Verse 42. For thou hast afflicted the meek. Thou hast hurt the peaceable. Thou hast loved liars and destroyed the dwellings of them. Say that again. And have destroyed the dwellings of them. What is a dwelling?
So like in a house?
That's where you stay. That's where you live. Why am I showing you this? This is not Esau. Esau has always done this. This is talking about what he's going to do in the future. He's done it in the past when he oppressed us. And he's doing it now. Gentrification, air, property, it's all the same. He's always trying to be deceitful to you, lie to you, take your rights, take your life away. He can take your life, but what one thing he can't take? Yeah, man. Give him a hand. Okay, take yourself. That's scripture. All right. And destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and have cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm. They not only destroy you, they look at you like, I was in fear for my life. What was I supposed to do? Breonna Taylor, they had drugs in there. We did our job. So we're wrong because we didn't miss, and we could have hit one of our people. Now we are wrong about that. I'm gonna start going to the gun range more. But she deserved to die. He could. He shot at us. He had a gun. Nigga with a gun. This is their reason for killing him. All right? Okay, 45, verse 45. And therefore appear no more thy eagle, that's key, nor thy horrible wings, nor thy wicked feathers, nor thy malicious heads, nor thy hurtful claws, nor all thy vain body, meaning that all the warfare, all the killing, Esau has always used the eagle to represent themselves. From the Greeks, you look at their flags, you look at their symbols. The Romans, man, you name it. Even look at America. It's a symbol that it's a symbol that they stick to. The eagle's supposed to be the great bird of the sky, able to conquer anything. You know, it's just this great bird. The scriptures is this is how powerful the scriptures are. The Most High knows that he's going to use that symbol to represent himself, right? It's in the scriptures. You feel where I'm coming from? In America in this day and time, this book was written thousands of years ago. In America, you can go by who Esau is by looking at his symbol. Because the Lord told you in the Bible. Go ahead.
So but in the Bible, don't they use this, in there a scripture that talks about you mount up with wings like eagles?
Now that's a different context. And that scripture is just telling you, it's referring to an eagle as the height that it flies.
Oh.
You will mount up like eagles. You will rise high. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a different context. Okay. And anytime the eagle is being used like in this scripture is saying, thou eagle, nor thy horrible, like an eagle don't have horrible wings. It don't have wicked feathers. Okay. It don't have thy malicious heads. You know, something malicious is something dangerous, lethal. Like it don't have a malicious head. You know what I mean? Eagles are eagles. It's an animal. But it's referring to the eagle because the eagle is a symbol that's been used all through time by Esau. Okay. You get what I'm saying?
The water.
Come. Verse 46. Then that's representing Esau. Verse 46. That all the earth may be refreshed and may return. This is what we want. Being delivered from thy violence, and that she may hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made her. Who's the her? Anybody remember in Revelations, was referring to the woman with the 12 stars around her that gives birth? In Revelations?
Was that America?
Serious? Why would there be a woman with 12, I think it was 12 stars around her, something like that? Why 12? And why a woman? Who is that? Come on now, damn, they give it to you. And then this woman, read again, that all the earth make now, is describing Esau, describing America, right? It's this vicious, monster-like eagle that's destroying everything. And then it says that now verse 46 says that all the earth may be refreshed. We're hoping that this earth can start over and may return, may go back to the way it was. being delivered from thy violence. That there's no more violence no more. You don't have to walk the street and worry about your baby dying because the police thought he had a gun, because he had a BB gun. Remember that little guy? What's that little brother name?
It's like Tamar Rice.
Tamar Rice. That little boy was in the park playing. Police rolled up on him and gunned him down within seconds. He didn't even try to see what he had. You don't have to worry about that violence, and that she may hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made of him that made her. This woman is hoping the one that made her has a righteous judgment for everything that she's been through. Who is she? It's the same she in Revelations.
Is it the children of
Give
Israel?
my hand, you scared her. That's what it is. It's Israel. Hey, young.
The 12 tribes stand for the 12 stars.
Yes. Give him a hand. That's exactly what it stands for. Exactly what it stands for. All right. Okay, that's it for that. Let me get the now we're gonna get into this video. Let's pull that up, go to marker 114. Of course, when I tell you stop. Now I got two more verses I'm gonna bring out at the end and one during. Okay, just 1 second. Turn the camera. 1 second, y'all. I just want to make sure that people can see.
Great $600,000, $1 million, $2 million
Well, so you can
homes.
let that play on up to the spot. Unless, 1 second.
There are a lot of great $600,000, $1 million, $2 million homes.
Your biggest decision is, do I want to go to the beach or the pool, and what am I going to grill for dinner? South Carolina, Hilton Head. What's going on there? People with families, everybody loves Hilton Head.
One of the best ways for an American family to create energy.
So 114.
Despite this incredible act.
Now, what we looking at, y'all, and I'm just gonna be sitting back in the cut commentating for people on Facebook and YouTube so you can understand. We're about to look at Heirs property. What is Heirs property? Well, the scripture that we just talked about was scriptures that explain how gentrification is wrong, how we should always hold on to who we are, our land, how wrong it is to invade us and take things from us, and that everything that's happened to us, there will be a righteous judgment that's going to be cast down from the Most High. So give Most High. We're in such hell that we have to have a fifth dimension power to intervene and destroy our enemies. Destroy the people that's oppressing us for hundreds, almost 1,000 years. All right, we have to have that type of power to come against this person. They're so evil. All right, so this is another tool that's used, and what you're about to see is, you're about to see what was called the Hilton Head. Okay, this was an island that was owned by black people. It was owned by black people. I think after the Civil War, we owned all of it. And I want you to pay attention on what happened. Go ahead.
After the Civil War, most of that property was not considered prime real estate. For example, Hilton Head, South Carolina. Until 1950, Hilton Head was rural. There wasn't a bridge from the South Carolina mainland up to Hilton Head Island, and the island was owned by the majority African Americans. What does South Carolina do? They build a bridge. Real estate developers realize, oh, there's a great economic opportunity, and they have visions of what has become Hilton Head.
The indigo, rice, and long, stable cotton of the past have given way to the golf, tennis, and swimming of today's leisure society.
They started buying out individual families, and there's hardly any black landowners left. And it was just happened as our society has advanced. Areas that were once considered the backwaters no longer are backwaters.
It don't.
We're on a mission right now. To get this tangerine.
Right there?
The vulnerability of black land isn't limited to the coastline. It's widespread throughout the United States. Even in my hometown of Tallahassee, Sandra Thompson learned just how hard it can be to make the vulnerability of black.
Is that 219?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So did everybody pay attention to what happened just now about the Hilton Head? Did you see it? I know we was trying to work things out technically, but the Hilton Head was like 400 and something acres or something like that, 500 or something like that. And slowly, it was an island in South Carolina. And what happened was, white people seen that. They made a bridge to go over there. They didn't get permission. They made a bridge to go over there and just started taking over. Offering people money, being friends with, you know how they do. They call it schmoozing in the world. Like when you try to get up next to somebody and basically you're trying to be slick and either take something from them or make a deal to where it looks like they're having you're partnering with them, but really they took it from them to where now the Hilton Head is a resort. That island that belonged to those black people is now a resort. Who you think going over there? You either got Samuel L. Jackson or Kane and Chad. That's the only ones going over there. And now only a couple of black folks have ownership over there. All right. Now I want you to go to 320. And now what we're gonna look at is the actual definition of heirs property. Okay, this is the definition of it. So everything start making sense. Go to 320. So let it go to 503.
When my grandmother
Pay
passed
attention, give a
away,
little volume.
it was left equally to her descendants. So that essentially created heirs property.
Heirs property on the most basic level.
If you could you go back a little bit?
Heirs property is communal type,
No, you do.
where your ancestors would have purchased the land, and once they passed away, it transfers to the next generation and their descendants.
Well,
It's fractional ownership
see, that's ownership.
of property that can be
That's
owned by 200 people. Any one of those heirs. 'Cause
Now here's the thing. It's supposed to be ownership within your own family. That's all it's supposed to be. Now, here's the catch with it. Go ahead.
can go to the court and say, well, we can agree on how to manage this land.
And force the rest of the folk to sell it even if they don't want to?
Yes. And so it was essential for us
Okay.
to move it out of heirs property status. And in that process, costs from probate to title clearing
I want
goes to
you to pay attention to what he said. What he's saying is heirs property is where if the family does not agree with what happens to the land, one person, somebody can come in and buy his percent. And because nobody else is agreeing, then they can go to the courts and he can buy everybody out, whether they like it or not.
And that's how they do.
And that's how they get down.
Wow.
Keep going.
$10,000.
Wait, so you own the land, but then you had to pay $10,000 to own the land again?
Exactly. Because of the cost. A lot of families don't clear title to their property. And so then it keeps them in a vulnerable economic risk position.
African Americans disproportionately own heirs property that everywhere who was knowledgeable about this ownership form would tell them,
Okay, you probably.
run away, do not ever.
Now go to 638. That's what heirs property is. All right. Heirs property It's basically when the property, the land is supposed to go to the heirs, but if they don't get along, a person can come in, buy them, pay them a little money, then buy out the rest of the children, whether they like it or not. Go to court, and then it's up for bid. No one is there, just the person that wants the property. I have proof of it. We about to look at it right now. We're gonna look at a older white man that is basically telling you what he's doing, and he tells you that, like, what did we read in we read in one of these scriptures where it was like it's they do it, what the oppressor does to us, he does it like as if he didn't do anything wrong, and he's literally gonna tell you that. He's literally gonna say, they think I want it for this, I want it for that, and then we're gonna see at the end of this documentary the reason why he really wants this land. All right, it's always a catch. There's a reason why you'll see a white man or white woman jog in your neighborhood, and it's full of black people. Y'all know damn well they're terrified of us. Why is she? That's a strategic warfare move. That's a scout team.
Mm-hmm.
That's reconnaissance. What's the houses? What kind of condition are they in? What kind of houses? I mean, what kind of cars in the front yard? What kind of damages to the house? So we could probably buy it, right? So then all of a sudden you start seeing cars come through your neighborhood with white folks in there you never seen before. You're like, who is that? They are scouting your area because they're about to get you. And if you're part of this heirs property thing, one of your siblings or cousins gonna get bought out, and before you know it, that land is not yours. All right. Now let's get to this time marker 6:38. Let's get it. This is how a family.
I'm going to teach you some tips and tricks on how to solve
It's an ad.
She's just going to interview me to see if you can draw out the tip that's not.
I'm gonna go off and say, this is how a family is uprooted under white supremacy.
As part of the legal process, the forced sale of heirs property has to be publicly announced. In the Lewiston situation, a local newspaper posted a notice in the weeks leading up to the auction.
This is a small town. Okay, this is not like the Washington Post or New York Journal or whatever, There's no paper out here in the country that's being delivered to the doorstep. Ain't no ball riding no bicycle throwing no paper on the front porch now. So walk in and just go something like that. I don't understand that. I'm not gonna keep this roof on this house. You keep the roof on it.
I want you to notice what he said.
So keep these bills paid on this house. My thing is, the house has been overused because of the tip and the house uprooted a family.
The sheriff evicted Michael.
That's all right.
So this is where your
I'll wait till it's over.
the step to the front entrance. I called the sheriff. Well, it's his property. He can do what he wants. The sheriff said that Toad can do what he wants. He can do what he wants. It's his property. I suggest you move the trailer.
What marker is that?
He says, well, that's all I can tell you. Is there anything I can help you with?
7:55.
Okay, hold on. All right, now look. What he basically said was what they do when they come to get your land, they put it in the paper. But they know that if they put it in the paper, most black folks is not gonna look for that. When they're saying that, okay, one of your siblings I just bought him out, and now I'm buying y'all out. Now you have a choice to come to the court and bid against me. They put it in the paper according to American law. But like that brother said, this ain't the Washington Post. This ain't the New York Times. This is a little country town. Don't nobody know that's in there. See how slick that is? All right, go to marker, go to 9:18. This is how the family is uprooted. Because the brother that's on here, it was like, it's a whole bunch of them, but they moved away. The man that got his land, see, these particular people had 400, almost 500 acres of land. All that land behind there, they got 500 acres of land. This white man seen it. peeped them out, sent the reconnaissance out there, did the scouting, and was like, who owns it? There's a process where you can find out who owns whatever land in America. Then it's a custodian that keeps up with all those records. He can tell you every person that is lined up that owns this land and where they're at. And we're about to see it right now. These children, the descendants from the person that had this land, they've moved away. What this white man is gonna do is just buy out one of them. So now he's in. Once he buys them out, gives them some money, like, hey, you have hard times? Let me give you $100,000 for the house, for your cut, for your share. So he pays them. Now he's in there. So now he has the option to buy out all of them. That's when he goes to the court, puts his papers in, goes to the auction. No one is there to bid against him. Hey, they put it in the paper. Y'all understand what's going on? All right, let's go to 918. Let's see how the system works. This is the custodian. This is when we go to the court.
Anything involved in a partition lawsuit filed here in this office. I'm the custodian of all of these records that you see. So do you want to take this out of front?
Yeah, we'll take that. When it comes to developers, what's the mechanism that they use to track down family members?
Okay, they'll come into this office, and then generally you know the piece of property that you're looking for. You know, whether that is because it's got some timber on it or something of that nature. Then what you do is you can look at the tax assessor's office, and the tax assessor's office will give you just a visual plat, hand-drawn plat of how the property went from one person to the next person to the next person, and that's how they will initially find out who owns the property.
So what happened with the Lewises?
The Lewises are a family that's spread out across the United States.
See that?
So James Terry Tuttle buys into that property. Now, he didn't just buy a sliver of that property. He ended up buying somewhere in the neighborhood of 20%.
That's a lot.
And once he owns that, he can force the entire thing to be sold.
And that's what he
Which he did.
He forced it to be sold. He got 20%. That means that it was members that's like, yeah, I don't care. Yeah, you gonna pay me how much? Yeah, I'll tell you. Because you see all those different, wherever it was highlighted, that's all the different members of the family and where they was at. Most of them left. So he gets in contact with them. Hey, you wanna make some money? What you mean? I mean, your piece of land, man, how much you want for it? Them people could have hard times. They could have said $5,000. And your cut is worth like 300, 400, a million. 400 acres? 400 to 500 acres, that's a lot of money. He buys 20%. Now he's literally a family member. That was enough for him to what? What the man just said? Buy out the rest of them. This is the process. This Tuggle character, he went in there, he know the game. He went into that custodian that keeps all the records. Who owns this land? Keep going.
That property. Now, he didn't just buy a sliver of that property. He ended up buying somewhere in the neighborhood of 20%.
Understood.
And once he owns that, he can force the entire thing to be sold.
And that's what he did.
Which he did.
That's Over the course of a decade, Tuggle, a timber developer in town, bought the shares of more than 20 people connected to the Lewis property.
20 people.
Most of them from out of state. He declined our request for an interview and didn't respond to our written questions.
So the sale happens at the sheriff's office, where it is publicly open for bid, and it's sold for $555,000.
At a bargain of a price, right?
Well, I mean, I don't know, $550,000
for 500 acres?
Pause that,
I've
please.
seen 17 acres of land sold for 18.
He bought 500 acres of land for $550,000. Let me tell y'all something, if y'all know about land. That ain't nothing. If you was to sell that land to a commercial business like a lumber yard, Walmart, you could put 12 Walmarts on that. You're talking multi-million. $550,000? That ain't nothing. Go ahead, sis.
It's like y'all just saying, anybody on the TV was still trying to basically defend the guy.
Exactly. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
You seen
That's
that?
why he only paid. He was trying to make it seem like that's really
Wait,
a lot.
that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But look, the brother said for 500 acres, the brother was saying, niggas, you crazy? This is what we dealing with. And did you know about this before I showed it to you? So who else know about it?
Nobody.
Not many.
Well,
not many of us.
Now.
And it's like this is called air property.
This is called air property. This is the system of it. This is how it goes down. We looking at, basically, this is another tool of gentrification, but it's something that we don't know. And I wanted to kind of bring it out so we can understand, oh, this is another way? Yeah, this is what they're doing to you up under your nose. All right? Keep going. We're going to go a little ways with this. Go ahead. I'll tell you.
And believe me, that's disturbing.
The sale he's talking about was made in 2001 to a real estate investor named James Steele, who advertises his ability to force the sale of Heirs property. We caught up with him at a sheriff's auction nearby.
All right, suit number 41821,
This is the
Trade
auction I was talking about
Investments, LLC
earlier.
versus Maurice Hunter et al.
Look, how many
The
people in
minimum
there?
acceptable bid is $2,294.25. The floor is now open for bids. Do I hear a bid? Okay, $2,294.25 is sold.
Remember that price. You about to see what he got.
Right there.
Morning, Jim. Morning. How you doing? Fine. What just happened today here?
Well, I bought an interest in a piece of land, an undivided interest, when it's inherited, there's a lot of heirs. I own 24 acres out of the 52.
Before the day you did?
Yes.
He got 52 acres for
Have you
$2,000.
paid in total for 52
Pause
acres?
that real quick.
I'm there.
What he said before that was, I got like 24 acres out of a lot of different heirs. So I got 24 acres out of the 52. That's almost half, right? So you passed the 20% mark. We all know you gotta have about at least 20%. So he's past the 20% mark, he almost 50%. So now he has the ability, this is why I'm showing you this. He has the ability to go to this auction. Ain't nobody showed up. He put it in the paper. Ain't nobody looking at the damn paper. He go to the auction, say, hey, I'm here. She says, this property is up for auction for $2,000, 52 acres. Who wants it? It's just him and some little drunk white dude in the cut. He probably don't even know why he's here. Raises his hand, I take it for 2 G's. He just got our people's land. They don't even know. 52 acres for $2,000. What you think he gonna do with that, with them acres? Give me your opinion. What you got? Condos? Go. That's a go, sis.
He gonna sell it to big business so they commercial so they can make more money off of it. Like they rent the land so that he continues to make residual income off of it.
Very good. Sis, you have that hand up? What you think?
I think he'll put animals on there somewhere.
You think he'll put animals up?
Like a farm.
You think a farm? Is there
Yeah.
money in that?
Yes, you know how many so-called pigs he can
There's
have
no
on
money in
there
there right now.
on farms?
Like they throwing crops away. They giving pork is at all-time low.
Oh.
Yeah, the COVID jacked up a lot of stuff.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's not gonna use it for farm, man. We gonna see what he gonna do with it at the very end. Okay. All right, go ahead.
I have to add that up because don't get me wrong, I do a lot of these and I can't keep them all in my head.
That's how many he
Heirs
does.
property
You know what he said?
into your overall business model.
To be truthful with it, it's probably 90% of my business.
This is 90% of how he makes money.
Some that the people in the Civil War had it. I mean, they were slaves.
You know what he said?
And I've had
Slaves had this.
come to me and say, well, would you file a lawsuit for me and do this? Because I don't want to be the bad guy. You ain't the bad guy because you already been the bad guy.
You do this all the time. So I'll be the bad guy.
You recognize that what you're doing is perceived.
You look at me as evil.
No, I know. No, I'm saying, no. No, what I'm saying is, to the family member that wants to sell,
Listen.
you're bringing the bank, you're bringing the money. To the family member that doesn't want to sell, you're evil.
Probably in their eyes.
Yeah.
And
Listen to what he says right here.
Sincere
Listen.
about not wanting to sell. They mean it. Most don't. Most say that, but they don't mean it. They just want instant gratification and money now. But there are some that don't want to sell, and it's usually the ones that live on the property that are getting free rent, free everything.
Their land, that's not free rent.
Well, they only have a minuscule portion of it. I've heard it thousands of times. You can't make me sell my land. And then I respond back. I say, yes, I can.
Oh.
What is my land? Well, it used to be. That ain't really.
Oh,
The evil boy.
you hear what he said?
God damn. Salakia.
No, you love sis. That's righteous. What you just said. He just said it's just a minuscule part of it. They just have a small part of the land. We talking about people that actually live on it. You just have a small part of it. He said that don't matter. It's their land. He said it used to be.
That's messed
He
up.
said, man, that's evil. He like, you ain't catch that.
Yeah, I did.
This man know what he's doing is wrong. That's why he said at the beginning, people ask me to be the bad guy. It's because they don't want to be the bad guy, so I'll be the bad. What you saying is you go to these people because you know they want money. We hurting. Blacks, Hispanics, and natives are hurting in this kingdom. So you offer them little pennies on a dollar, they take it, and then you like, yeah, I'm in. Because once they get in, man, let me tell you this. Y'all see this shirt, right? I.S.U.P.K is the vaccine. Let me tell you how righteous this shirt is. We the vaccine because Esau is the COVID. Because once he gets in, he takes over.
Time.
You see that? He said, once I get a little part of it, I can buy everybody out. Right? Let's go to let's get marker 1640. That was the system. Okay? We just seen the system. We seen how it works. Now I'm gonna show you the victim. That land that we've been talking about for the $550,000 for 500 acres. We finna look at the victim. Now this part gonna get you mad as hell. I'll be real with you, Israel. This gonna get you mad. It might tug at your heart a little bit. It might hit them tear ducts. It should though, because that just means you love your people. All right? Can somebody see me? Not you. Go ahead. What's that? 1640. Let's get it. Let's go. Go to 45.
Go to 45.
Yeah. No. Select 35. What's this guy?
Oh, plus.
Yeah, this is
16.
Good. That's good right there.
Right here?
Yeah, that's cool.
It's commercial.
No, that's cool. I just want to make sure we get like I just hops right in. That's the one.
Right.
It's the victim right here.
I didn't say I'm not part of the family. Only someone else came, saw that part, so they affect the whole family.
She didn't say it.
They know the law.
One of their nephews
So
agreed to say it.
So we lost it like that. Every year, we paid the taxes. We didn't leave it alone to forget it. We took our resources to make sure we got the taxes paid.
They were paying for the land. They didn't neglect it.
Why do you think your grandfather didn't make a will?
I don't think back in the day they were thinking about making a will. But my grandparents prepared for what he knew at the time and what he had to do at the time, prepare for my family. So I know the difference. Because you need a will. Because those will be chaos in their families.
How was the land to you?
I want to narrate for the sister a little bit in case you don't understand. It's okay. I want to narrate for the sister just in case you don't understand. Her family went through this heir property thing. They took care of the land. They paid the taxes. It was paid for. Their grandfather had it for years. You know, we talking about Civil War or slavery. During the time of slavery. They kept the taxes up. They took care of it. One of their nephews was like, "Nah, I'm finna sell mine. I'm trying to get this paper." They didn't know about it because what's the process? What's the first thing they're gonna do when you get a person like that character we just seen?
They're gonna put it in the paper.
They're gonna put it in the paper. Damn right, sis. They put it in the paper. Does anybody see it?
Wow.
You might not even be in that city. Once it's in the paper, what happens? Sis?
The white people see anybody else.
What's the process? We just looked at the system. Go ahead.
So they put it in the paper.
Mm-hmm.
Then in the paper they announce the day of the auction.
Come.
They go to the auction.
Uh-huh.
Nobody shows. They open the floor up to bid. Ain't nobody else there to bid because don't nobody know about it except for that one person
Exactly.
who put it in the paper.
That wants to buy everybody out. What happens after that?
Then they buy the land, and then that's it. They own it now.
And then you're this person. You don't know what happened. You just dealing with the fact that 500 acres is gone. Go ahead.
I ain't gonna cry. You know what this made me think about?
Mm.
My family.
Go.
They got the land
Go.
in right outside of Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't even really been keeping up with the taxes. That every year they really have to get the taxes, and you know, it's members of my family that don't want the land, and I think about they gonna do this to the land that my family has, that my great grandfather left to his children. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it was like 27 acres before. They sold some of it already. And then there's 14 acres left to split between my grandmother and her siblings. So my mom, her siblings, and then my great aunt's siblings. And don't nobody want it. It's just down there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And like, then when I asked to try to take it, just like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Let me get some of it. Let me pay taxes on portion. They tell me all this. They talk about how much the process is for you to take over the land. They're like, oh, well, you got to go and get the land sectioned off. You got to get it cleared off before a surveyor will come out there and survey the land and section it off. Basically, they're trying to tell me all of this stuff that it would take to get just a portion of the land.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want me to do it. They don't want nobody else to do it. But then they struggling to pay the taxes. I mean, I want to say they're like a year or 2 years behind.
Now, what's going to happen is somebody is going to come through and offer one of your family members some bread. They're going to say they behind anyway. You might as well take this money. And when they accept that money, that person is in with 20%. That's why I said at the beginning, man, this might be a tearjerker. This gonna make you mad. You should be either mad or sad or both. Because at the end of the day, this is happening either to you or somebody you know. This is the world we live in. This is white supremacy in your face. This is Donald Trump. This is the person that you work with that you think is your friend. This is your wife. This is your husband. This is what they do. If it ain't them, it's somebody in their family. And this is something that our people gotta wake up to. And it's unfortunate what's happening to you and your family. You know what I mean? But
So like it, they don't even want it. And I've been trying to get it.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this is, if it comes to the point where they get it, and there's nothing you can do about it, so be it. Because at the end of the day, you in here. And at least now you know. Now you know what's going on. Even if it goes south, you understand why. You can't, don't blame your family members. Don't get mad at them. They ain't oppressing just like you, and they not in the truth. They don't know nothing. What you get mad at is white supremacy. That's why you in this class right now. So you understand the truth of what we're facing every day. That's the whole point of the class. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
So you're gonna be all right. I guarantee you that. But go ahead. So.
And leave it alone. And to lose it, you had no defense, you know what to do, lost it. That was devastating. Still is. It will ever forever be that way. Because that's the law.
Because that's the law. This is white supremacy. This is what they okay. Now I want to give you a precept real quick. We're gonna look at one more clip. We're gonna look at the reason why that man we seen in that auction, they got the 52 acres, and then the reason why he got in on this 500 acre thing. We're gonna see why. But right now, I want you to look at Job 36 and 15. I want you to get to your Bibles real quick, because what this sister is feeling, you probably feel it too. Just the why. Like, why do you come at us like that? Like, why do you take so much from us? Like, what are we supposed to do? I'm about to give you a precept. We're going to look at Job 36, verse 15. We're going to read, probably going to read to about 21. Give me 1 second. 1 second here. Job. Yep, we're going to go back to Job. I know we've been in Job forever. So this is Job 36, verse 15. He delivereth the poor in his affliction, and openeth their ears in oppression. When it's saying that he delivereth the poor in his affliction, that's what he's doing for us right now. You think it's my idea to put this video out? It's coming from the Lord. This whole class, this ain't me. Like scripture say, I'm nothing but a bloody rag compared to the Most High. I just do my job. I get a message to the people. When it says, and open up their ears in oppression, it'll be a time when there'll be people that's going to hear. They're going to be looking for what the Lord has to say. Not what Creflo Dollar, what his sissy self has to say.
Right. What
the priests and prophets of the commanding during YAHANNA have to say. Right? Verse 16. Even so, when he have removed thee out of the strait into a broad place, that strait is danger. Okay? That's what strait means. We'll read it again. Even so, when he have removed thee out of the strait into a broad place, where there is no straightness, and that which should be set on thy table should be full of fatness. What is that fatness? That fatness is where we're supposed to be at. For you to have that fatness on your table is for you to have an abundance of something. The Most High is looking at the children of Israel. That's his interest. They're not going to get away with this, y'all. This is just one story out of millions. This is one tool out of millions of tools that they've used on us. This is just one. You know how many it is that we don't know about? You know how much stuff they putting in our food? They wonder why we ain't dead yet.
Right.
Because the Most High know what they doing. Let's keep reading. Verse 17. But thou hast fulfilled the judgment of the wicked. Judgment and justice take hold on thee. This is wicked judgment. What this sister has went through with her family, this is wicked judgment. For them to put this in law, that's wicked judgment. For you to okay a heathen to come into a people that had done nothing to you, get 20% of something that didn't belong to them, and acquire everything else, to where you can stick your hand through thorns and take the last of somebody that don't even have nothing. That's wicked judgment. You understand? Verse 18. So like, I'm going to go to verse 19. Verse 19. When he esteemed thy riches, no, not gold, nor all the forces of strength. Verse 20. So like, Well, let me go to verse 20. Desire not the night when people are cut off in their place. You see how people are cut off? You see the reason why this sister and a lot of other brothers and sisters, and just like the sister was saying in class, the reason why people are willing to sell out is because they don't care. What you can't do is go into that darkness. When this scripture says, desire not the night when people are cut off in their place, don't be evil. Don't be evil like them because somebody's doing something evil to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You ever heard that saying, 2 wrongs don't make it right? Them being evil, and then you come back and do something evil, is going to mess you up. They born like this. You're not. You're a special people above all nations. Deuteronomy 7:6. All right? And don't desire evil. Don't want something evil. Want rulership. Because see, when blacks, Hispanics, and the natives are in rulership, it will be none of this. It ain't gonna be no incest. It ain't gonna be no having sex with your slaves, having sex with little 12, 10-year-olds, slave traffic, drugs. Ain't none of that gonna be there. And when if you do that and the priests come through, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. This will be look, the scriptures say when the wicked are in rulership, the people mourn. So when the righteous in rulership, what happens?
The wicked mourn?
No, the people rejoice.
Oh.
They're happy. Because righteous judgment is on the earth. Right now, Job 9:24 tells us what? The wicked rules the earth. So then what are people going to be doing right now? Mourning. Let's look at verse 21. Take heed, regard not iniquity. Don't sin. For this hast thou chosen rather than affliction. Don't look at wickedness. Don't look at what's happening to us as a reason for you to be part of that. Like a lot of us are part of what we're looking at right now, this heir property. There's a lot of lawyers in on it. A lot of our family members do it. And the first thing we want to do when we find out, we want to go take their head off for the family member that did it, ain't it? We want to get at them, don't you? And I feel you on that. But the scriptures say what? What does it say? It said, go ahead, Sid.
Says, regard not iniquity, for this hast thou chosen rather than affliction.
So the Lord does not want you to choose to be evil over going through the struggle. Because when you go through this struggle, through this pain, through these moments of discouraged and moments of disappointment, and why? It's there for a reason. Because it's going to build you up. It's going to help you see what this world really is and not what it wants you to see. You're going to see the
wickedness.
T word. Starts with the T. You're going to see the truth.
Oh.
You're going to see the truth. All right? YAHANNA?
I was going to say that. Endure to the end.
Endure to the end. Go ahead. All right? So remember those scriptures. Did you highlight them? I hope you did, because those are key. Write me a precept book. We're going to look at one more scripture at the end. Let's go to 2017. And we're going to look at the reason why why Esau is this particular person is doing this to this family. So 2017, and we're going to get up out of here.
You ready?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, whenever you ready.
On these properties, Mr. Togo, he ain't gonna build nothing on it. It's all for the timber.
Listen?
All for the timber.
What did he say? You pause it?
As far as you can see on all these here.
What's the first thing that brother said? It's all for what?
It's all for the timber.
So him talking about it's an investment and all this, he did that. All he got. Y'all know how much timber pine trees, maple trees, mahogany, if possible, cedar. My slavery, I deal with wood. Wood is a high commodity in America. It's so high that they go to South America and they have what you call certified wood, where they actually take so much wood and then they stop and plant so they can keep harvesting it. It's a process because wood is so precious in America. It is big money. This man got 500 acres. Remember the figures, because I'm trying to get you to see what Esau is thinking. This is the wickedness right here. He got 500 acres for $550,000. It's timber all over those 500 acres. It's so much that they're going to tell you himself that the process with timber is you harvest it, you burn the rest of the shrub this up, and then you plant seed. So let me ask you, how long would that last with 500 acres? And then you plant seed. Young man.
A long time.
Hundreds of years. I'm gonna tell you why. Because it takes trees a while to grow. And if you got 500 acres, you have enough to mow down 20 acres worth of timber, then mow down another 20. By the time you get back around to the one that you mowed down at first, they've grown.
Right.
He got enough inheritance for his great, 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 great. Do you see what's happening? This is the world, this is the government, this is the rulerships like it that we live in under. He did all that for that timber. When he went to that land and seen that, he was like, oh, I gotta find out who owned this. I heard a bunch of niggers on this. I know what to do. I know how to get in there. Did he make up that law? So who made it up?
White supremacy.
Boy, give him a hand now. Come on, man. Supremacy made that rule. Now let's keep going.
This is fresh cut. I mean, right after he purchased, he went to cutting. It was in the family for 125 years.
125 years.
All of this. My aunts and uncles' houses set up on the top up here. You can see that it's been wiped clean of pine, and everything that you see pushed up, they're gonna come back and burn it and then replant.
Yeah.
It's important that you stick together. You keep your interests together. You hold tight to your interests. And if you plan on doing anything with your interests, make sure you do it in the family. Keep it in the family.
Right.
And that's where we fell short.
Pause that.
Because
he said that's where we fell short. You keep it in the family. What's your family? Blacks, Hispanics, and natives. What that brother is saying, I hate to sound cliche, but it's real, but what he's saying is so heavy. Because what he's saying is, never let a heathen into your family.
Right.
They are not looking out for the best interests of you. I don't care how broke and poor you is. We're supposed to stick together, help each other. Nobody should be struggling. If we all pull each other, if we all got $5 to put in on it, and it's thousands of us, ain't nobody broke. Nobody, ever. If they got 500 acres of land, if we got somebody that's struggling and they got a house, that's a house on that land that all of us can come together and build. But our people don't understand that. Because the first thing we want to do is think John 3:16 means love everybody. How do you love everybody if everybody hates you? How do you do it?
You can't.
If you got a person that hates you hanging off a cliff and a person that loves you hanging off a cliff, who do you save?
The person who loves you.
So how the hell can you save both? Think about that. Keep going.
got from him now is probably no.
That's it.
Just like everything else.
That picture right there, we cut it off. I'm gonna get everything back up. Slide, give me a second. Everything turned back. 1 second. I know that's a little disheartening, but it's meant to be. 1 second, y'all. 1 second. All right, select. Now, got one more scripture. We'll get out of here. It's we'll look at Hosea 5:15. Just look in your table of contents if you don't know what it said. Hosea 5:15.
With the H.
Come.
Except for Daniel.
Well, what time is it?
It's 8:36.
Okay, just like this.
15.
5:15. Everybody there? Hosea 5:15. I will go and return to my place, till they acknowledge their offense and seek my face. In their affliction, they will seek me early. We have to acknowledge what we did in this world is wrong. We have to acknowledge who the Most High is. When it's talking about till they acknowledge their offense and seek my face, it's going to be a time when we're looking for the Most High because there's no other answers. Because we're under so much oppression and being taken advantage of so much. And in our affliction and things like this that we go through, we have to seek Him. That's the whole reason for us being in the truth. All right? So I just wanted to bring this to you so you understand what air property is. And it's just another tool that's been used to destroy us. And how important it is for us to stay together. And there's nothing wrong with you loving your people and staying with your people. And with that, shalom, Israel.